Welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that. I'm Joe.
And I am the artist formerly known as Calvin.
And welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that.
How was your week?
It was okay.
Okay.
I guess I had a good day.
I have a bone to pick. It snowed over here. And it never snows this early in winter for us. I'm terrified.
Sure. Don't know why.
Because that means it's going to snow more. And usually that's not a worry. Usually if there's white stuff on the ground, that means I don't got to make plans for stuffs. But now I might have to because certain people just don't care. So that's going to suck. That's going to suck.
Great. Okay. Whatever.
Oh, you're all ready for Christmas,
The
Calvin?
top is on. Yes.
The top is on.
Yes.
The top? What do you mean?
That has nothing to do with nothing.
I'm so
I
confused.
knocked over a bottle of water.
And had an inner monologue, but said that part of it out loud.
Yes. I thought it was in my head.
Oh
my bad.
Gosh. You're all ready for Christmas?
I guess.
Okay. I'm very proud of myself. I got our stuff up pretty early this year so we can enjoy our decorations. Very impressed. Very happy. Are there any movies that you're trying to see in theaters?
Why would I do that?
Because there might be something you want to see.
No.
Not really. Five Nights at Freddy's, the second one, is about to come out. I kind of want to watch that in theaters. Also, I've been
Good
hearing
for you.
really good things about Badlands, which is like the Predator. It's a Predator movie. It's in theaters right now. Apparently, it's really good.
Okay.
Calvin, the worst.
I don't have any movies I really want to see.
Okay. All right, moving on to That Happened with Joe.
That happened with Joe.
So you want me to talk about H Mart first, or you want to talk about Ray J versus Beyonce versus Jay-Z?
Woman, it's your segment. Do what you want to do. Go where your heart leads you, I guess, is what they would say.
My segment is filling you in on this pop culture.
Fill me in. Start where you want to start. Go where your heart goes. I don't know.
Fine. Ray J versus Beyonce versus Jay-Z. In case you did not know, Ray J is the little brother to Brandy. Brandy of famous The Boy Is Mine fame. She is currently on tour with Monica. It is called The Boy Is Mine. And they're doing really, really well. They're selling a lot. They're selling well. Apparently, Beyonce and Jay-Z have been to 6 different shows of theirs because they're fans. But Ray J had a bone to pick about that. He was live streaming yet again and was saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z really need to step up to the plate and talk to Brandy next time they come by the show. They never stop by her dressing room and talk to her. They never stop to take pictures with her. They just come to the show, send their, like, I guess they're like congratulations or whatever via other people, and then they out. And he's like, I just think that's cold. You should be treating them better than that. Which, of course, sent the internet into asking, like, why do you think Beyonce and Jay-Z owe Monica or Brandy anything? What are you talking about right now? They're coming to the shows. So, of course, unfortunately, Brandy and her PR team and Monica, they all had to kind of get together to, like, kind of squash that because it's bringing negative attention to the tour. So on one of the last stops recently, Monica, mid-conversation, they're saying, like, thank you for being at the show, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, you know what? As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and take Ray J's phone. And she just goes to the edge of the stage, goes, Ray, give me your phone. Give me your phone, Ray. And snatches it from him and goes, okay, we'll continue with the rest of the show. So people are saying that might have been like a planned spin to kind of push it back to a positive narrative and further isolate them from Ray J's behavior because Ray J's going through it right now. With the pulling guns on the baby mama and the ridiculousness that is his show that I think has finally ended.
Sure, whatever. I just find it hilarious that people is paying this much attention to a crackhead.
Well, they like other stuff, and this crackhead keeps popping up. It's like you're driving down the street, like in Baltimore, and then all of a sudden somebody shows up and they're just rubbing your windshield. It's that situation. They were paying attention to something else, and then he just was here.
And guess what we're doing to people that are rubbing our windshields? We act like we don't see them.
You said ignore.
And we ignore.
Mm-hmm.
So how about we keep doing that? Just ignore.
It's crazy. He's crazy.
He's the Michael Jackson dude dancing in the street, sliding across the stop during the
Stoplights.
stoplights.
That's here. That's homegrown.
Ignore him.
Randomly, I have some 90 Day Fiancé news if you would like. Do you remember Elizabeth and Andre?
Yeah.
Her dad died.
Oh.
Her dad passed. Guess where
Okay.
they're holding the funeral?
Moldova.
St. Mary's down here.
Why?
Because he's from here.
Oh, okay.
He served in the Navy. He actually was stationed at Pax River down that way.
Okay.
So they're doing a full thing down there.
Oh, good for him.
It is sad. It's a little sad.
Well, that's what whatever that dude named Adrian wanted. So
When I think, aren't they on this season right now?
yes.
I'm hoping that everything was cool between him and his son and all of that. Because remember, for the show purposes at least, they were making it sound like there was a split and Dad made his choice to choose Andre and Elizabeth.
From your hand, probably. I don't know. I haven't really watched 90 Day. It's lost its luster.
Oh, okay. Okay, onto the H mark gate of it all. In case you don't know, on the TikToks, there was a creator who is Wasian. You know what that means?
No.
White and Asian.
Okay.
Okay. She was talking about how like she understands that for the most part, most people perceive her as just being white. You can look at her and see that she is not just white, but whatever. In her world or her perception, most people just think she's white, but she's not. She's half white, half Chinese.
Good for her.
She has been going to the local Asian store close to her house, and she keeps seeing all these white people going to the going to this grocery store. And she's like, and I'm kind of side-eyeing them. Like, I'm like, she's like, I understand it's a grocery store and the grocery store is making money, but also like, why are these people here? Like, they don't really have any taps in on the culture. So I just can't help but side-eye them. Apparently, that was the flag to open up all of the gates for people who were like, how dare you be anti-white? All these other Asian creators kind of came out the woodwork and were going after her, saying she was prejudiced against white people. And then they started giving these insane examples. So there's like these 3 Asian creators that were really outspoken about it, and they have huge followings. The girl that did this, her name's Matilda. She doesn't have a huge following. She's literally she's got like a personal account, and she just keeps it like her own, like a video diary series, basically. But they were like, how dare you say this? One of the creators was like, when I'm in the Asian market and I see white people there, I hang around in the aisles in case they need help. And people were losing it. There's a vegan Asian creator who got on here and was like, she's prejudiced against her white side. She has self-hatred about her white side. She's further alienating, yada, yada, yada. And then another creator, this guy, was going in about how like she shouldn't have anything to say because she's not fully Asian. She doesn't have any skin in the game because she's only part. So some people were like, is this how the rest of the communities feel about this? No. Turns out these guys are in the minority. There's a lot more people that are now being outspoken that are talking about how like this is something that the Asian community has been battling for years. You've got the Asians that kind of came up in a certain era where like being as close to white as possible was what was preferred. But now you have new age generations Asians that are like, no, I don't want to do none of that. I'm not trying to be part of this colonization in any way, shape, or form. Let's get away from it. Another guy that was breaking this down was talking about how like in the past, when it was like this in-house fighting in Asian communities, there wasn't anything that kind of locked everybody together. Apparently, people didn't know this, but a lot of Asians fight with other Asians. Like, yes, they might have anti-blackness, they might have whatever else that's going on, but for the most part, they keep to their community. So if you're Chinese, you're talking about the Chinese people. If you're Korean, same thing, yada yada yada. There's usually not a mixing of the communities with Asian communities within Asian communities.
We know that.
We know that, but apparently there were a lot of people who had no idea. They thought an Asian was an Asian was an Asian. It's like, no,
No.
no. And then they're finding out, more new people are finding out that there's colorism in the Asian community. They had no idea that there's brown Asians, black Asians, and that closer to fair skinned, closer to white skinned Asians, There's like a hierarchy. They had no idea.
That's why those creators felt confident enough to come out and try to bash her because majority of the audience are probably white.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Majority of their audience is white. They're married to white people. So, which opened up its own conversation. But what has really made this very interesting is that there's more people talking about the colorism, the anti-blackness, like the darker sides of being in these Asian communities and how like the Asian American communities are split. But for whatever reason, this conversation is kind of uniting them. So now it's more and more people talking about how like there should be a more blend of Asian communities, and they keep a lot of their comparisons to the black community. Like how the black community for the most part isn't segregated, even though it isn't isn't necessarily segregated. They see black Americans as being like one unit. It's not, but they think it is.
It is.
They're lumping Africans in with the black community.
Oh, then they need to stop that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what you call Caribbean?
Yeah, Caribbeans.
Caribbeans.
Yeah.
They can lump them in.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they can leave the Africa stuff to Africa. Because
That's another. It's a discussion for another time.
Africa does want to be.
Some, yeah.
Don't want to be down. Oh,
some,
whatever.
yeah. But yeah, so they're like, black Americans don't always have to go through this. But the other part of that is like historically, we didn't have a choice but to all blend together. We didn't know where y'all came from.
And a lot of Africans don't understand that the reason they don't look at you the same way is because they think you're supposed to be the jungle with a stick, chasing animals.
Oh, people are learning that there's something called jungle Asians. Very racist. But they didn't even know that was a term. And then they didn't know what it meant. They're like, what do you mean jungle Asians? Like, not all Asian communities come from tropical places. You know that, right? What's happening right now? There are so many questions.
Sure.
So many questions. Or that it's basically code for colorism. It's Asians with darker skin. They're jungle Asians.
Yeah.
So crazy. But yeah, but it's opened up the floodgates. So like more and more cultures are now aware.
Anything is a derogatory statement.
Agreed. But yeah, so yeah, that's the H Mark Gate thing so the other part of that backlash is that those 3 creators that were running the helm of like, you better treat these white people with respect. They're turning, 2 of them are turning the conversation being like, thank you for calling out my behavior. I have a lot to reflect on.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how it's being received. They're saying, sure. One of the creators, he accidentally leaked his draft. So you see him trying to like formulate his words, but he posted it. So it's him being like, I'm sorry that. Okay, well, I'm sorry that. Okay, well, I'm sorry that. So it's like just him like self-editing, and he posted that instead of his finalized version. So it hasn't been great for him, but yeah, there's been some messiness in the Asian communities, which most mainstream usually does not know, even is aware of, and now they are. That's H Mark 8.
Well, this is why I stay off the internet. It's the only way to keep sanity.
It's the only way. The only way. Okay. And that's it. That's all I got for That Happened. You want to move into what we watched?
That happened with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and kick us off.
All right.
Yep.
So, in case you, for some reason, missed it, 50 Cent's documentary called Sean Combs: The Reckoning was released on Netflix on Tuesday of this week.
Well, let's say he's an executive producer. He's not the producer.
Executive producer is higher than producer.
I'm not okay. When I was saying these things, someone told me he's just the executive producer.
No, I said he's not the creative director, which is different.
Sure.
Do you know what the producer
like
does?
I was saying, he has final say no matter what.
He doesn't have.
But then
that's not what that means.
Okay.
So essentially, this was his idea to put together, is what it means. It was his idea to create this, and then he got the people in place to create it, and that's where it left off. That's why his name is so synonymous with this. It was his original idea to do something like this, and then he got other people in place, and then they made their decisions, put it out there. That's what this is.
Whatever. the troll did what he does. Troll.
It's a four-part series that talks about the origins of Diddy, how he got into Bad Boy, how Bad Boy gets formally established, and the power he gains and what he does with that afterwards. Is it true? I don't know. I don't know how factual any of this is. Does it cling to the fact that he was on trial the time they were making this? Yes. Yes, it does heavy. It does so very heavily.
So, like, there are going to be lawsuits.
Okay. Coming down the pike from what
Yeah,
was said. So it
of,
is
of
a
course.
lot of what's the word? Not blasphemous, but I would say very derogatory and audacious information that gets put out there. A lot of stuff I did not know. I did learn some new stuff, if it's true. They have a lot of interviews with people who work with Diddy or who were part of the come up with Bad Boy. Artists are in there, assistants, and the like to give you these different perspectives of their working with Diddy, aka Puff, aka Sean Combs. So, you want to start with the episodes? You want to go like down the list, or you want to talk about your overall thoughts?
And then go with the episode,
Okay.
and then we give our overall whatever at the end.
Okay. Episode 1 is called Pain versus Love. And essentially, we're learning the origins of Diddy.
Wasn't that one of his albums?
All of these are album names.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
So,
Oh, okay, makes sense.
we learned that Diddy had a very rough childhood. I'm forever going to call him that. It's either going to be Puffy or Diddy. I'm never going to use Sean Combs. So, Diddy/Puffy had a very rough childhood.
You don't have to do Diddy/Puffy. We know who it is. You can just say one of the names. You don't have to say the slash.
Now I'm going to do it every time just to make you annoyed.
Oh, gosh.
So Diddy/Puffy.
I bring it to myself.
They talk about the closeness he had with his mother. His dad passed when he was young. He may or may not have been working for a gang.
No. Not a
He
gang.
got shot.
Not a gang. He's working with the drug
Cartel? Mafia.
mafia. But the black version
We
of the
don't
mafia.
know. We don't know. It's not. They don't confirm nothing.
Yeah, there are some inklings out there that he used to work for Frank Lucas.
Allegedly
or whatever. But he had his brains blown out.
Yeah. So, and it's been reiterated in more than one interview that Puffy basically becomes like the man of the house. Mind you, he's like 6 at this time, but they make it, it's really repeated that his mom basically kind of built him up to be like a pimp and to help run that house at 6.
She pretty much dressed him up like the gangsters of the time where she was coming up dressed. So he dressed like the black exploitation movies, the pimps, or the gangsters, pretty much. So whatever you saw in Frank Lucas, American Gangster, that's pretty much how she was dressing Puffy when he was younger.
But 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. So, according to the childhood friend that grew up with him, he always had that kind of influence to like try to aspire to be like the pimps and the gangsters that they were growing up with, but he didn't really know how to be necessarily. He was a kind of an awkward kid, but he also dealt with a lot of abuse. Like when he would get, I guess, punished or whatever, he dealt with very harsh, violent punishments that kind of shook his friend.
His friend was like, I got beatings and stuff, but he said it wasn't the level that was happening to Puff.
Mhm.
He was like, I still have nightmares about the stuff happening to Puff.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, cool.
But again, that guy has shown up in other interview spots, and the story has been consistent. So it's a little scary. There's also allegedly, there's also talk out there that his mom may have done other inappropriate stuff with him by treating him as the man of the house, quote unquote, like implying that there might have been some sexual abuse as well. So, but it's all alleged and it's all implication. There's nothing that's been confirmed. So then we find out that he is getting into the music industry. He starts out as essentially an intern with Uptown Records. Andre, what's his face?
He starts as a dancer. He quits Howard, because he wants to be in the music business, like Javon.
Most people don't quit Howard; they usually drop out because he was a student. He
drop
didn't
out,
work there.
quit, same thing, same goddamn thing. Like she said, and he was trying to get in the music business. So he started off as a dancer. He was dancing in a lot of videos that I didn't even know he was dancing in.
He's almost unrecognizable.
Yes.
He's so skinny and so goofy.
What was the one song, the dude, you drive me crazy? You said he sang that song? He was dancing in his videos. Mm-hmm. I think it was Stacey Lattimore.
Yep, Stacey Lattimore. And he was in a video with Debbie D.
And then he got the intern with Uptown. When you learn how he got up the ranks at Uptown, making the band and all the crazy stuff kind of makes sense.
How did he get into the upper echelons for Uptown?
Pretty much he would do things for Pharrell. Who? The owner of Uptown. I think his name is Harrell.
That Andre guy?
Andre Harrell, yeah.
Okay.
He would go get his coffee. He would run to go get his stuff at the cleaners. I guess he would do his car or whatever.
But have it explained. Andre didn't ask him to do that necessarily. He just did it.
He's like, I need somebody to do this or this. But
like he would literally run and get it. He's like, why?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, but in this case, he was like, why you running? How'd you get back so fast?
You didn't need to run.
He's like, how'd you get back so fast? He's like, I ran there and ran back. He's like, you ran?
Right. Right.
He like, why? He like, why?
Right.
So that hustle mentality actually made Andre
like him.
He
wanted
more.
To make him a protege. Yes.
So he became pretty much like she said, his protege.
Yes. And we learned that he starts dealing with acts like Heavy D and what's his face?
Albie Shore.
He starts doing their stuff.
It comes out that
he's a promoter for them.
Puff is an amazing promoter, and he has an ear and eye for talent. Mm-hmm. And he knows what good music sounds like.
And apparently, he also knew Suge Knight during this time period because Suge Knight was Albie Shore's bodyguard.
Which now, that's something I didn't know.
Okay.
Now you putting all the two and two together, now I can understand why the hate or the anger against each other was so real.
It is interesting. They framed it as East Coast versus West Coast, but it was really Diddy versus Suge.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I'm like, Suge? Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. It wasn't East Coast, West Coast. It was two dudes with the same egos. One
copying each other,
trying to out-ego each other.
Yeah.
One wanted to be behind the scenes. The other one wanted to be all in the videos.
Right.
Singing all on the songs.
Yep.
That's the only difference.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much were the same person doing the same things, screwing their artists.
But they also learned from like the same person because they both worked with Uptown Records. It was very interesting to learn that piece of it. But they also started connecting some of the tragedies that came with Puffy during this time period. He had arranged to do an event at like a school gymnasium for Heavy D and some other acts with Uptown. He promoted the hell out of it.
It was a basketball event. It was a basketball game. It was an all-star basketball game.
But it's only celebrities. There wasn't basketball players.
Yeah, but just for celebrities.
Yeah. It was the Uptown artists. Yeah. But so he oversold on tickets for what the venue space could actually handle. Word of mouth was spreading. It's alluded that he continued to like spread word of mouth, telling people just to show up at the doors to try to get in, regardless of whether or not the tickets were available. And they did. And there was a situation that happened where
they pretty much did the bum rush the door thing. But the way the gymnasium is set up,
there's only one way in.
There's only one way in, and it's down some steps.
Yes.
So if you bum rush,
but the doors don't push out. The doors push in.
The door pushes.
So they would get to the door. Normally, if you push on that door, it pushes out. You can go leave out. But this gymnasium, you had to pull that door open to get outside. So when they would get down to the stairs and everybody's pushing on that door, it's not budging because it needs to pull in.
So pretty much they didn't know the doors pull out instead of push in.
Why did they start running is my question. what made them want to leave the gymnasium like that?
What do you mean?
What was the catalyst for them to all try to leave at one time that led to crushing people?
No, what happened was they're all trying to get in at one time.
No, because he said when they got down to the
Yeah. What happened was they were trying to get in. They were letting people in. So then a bunch of people got to the bottom, but I guess they got to a point where they was getting to it, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna force our way in. So at that bottom, they try to force their way in, and not realizing the door doesn't push in, it comes out. So people got stuck and people got trampled and crushed.
The video footage that we see is them actually in the gymnasium. So what happened to the people in the gymnasium?
They were just in there.
But no, they got crushed.
The people that were coming down the stairwell, all those people that were there, that's the people that got crushed. Everybody else who were inside was already inside.
They're showing the people inside where like the bleachers are and everything for that gymnasium. And everybody's hurt.
They started no, that's after the fact. They finally got everybody to get out the way, and they took the people that were at the bottom and laid them in the gymnasium. Because that's the only open space they had to put them. That's what you saw. You saw the aftermath of what everything. Now, the people inside started panicking. I don't know what they did. But for what actually got people hurt and killed were the people that were trying to come in. Couldn't come in because the door doesn't push in. Normally when you bum rush, the doors push in, so they just force their way in.
Push out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You push out.
Yes.
So they just force their way in.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. They had to pull them open.
Yeah, so these doors go the opposite way.
Right. They had to pull them versus push.
Yeah, so
it stayed put. It didn't move.
Yeah, so people didn't know that.
But what I'm saying is they came from like outside into a space and then had to go down the stairs to get into the gymnasium.
Yeah.
And that you're saying that's where they all got crushed.
Yeah,
and then
they
finally got the doors open in the gymnasium and moved them in there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They got crushed at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
Where the door is. And then they finally got everybody to calm down and stop panicking.
Because it was still, at least the footage that they're showing, they're still panicking.
It's still people trying to get in, and then people screaming, probably trying to get out at that point, too. But the people, the issue was people who were trying to get in.
They're getting trampled.
Yeah.
So it's implied that Diddy is not the sole reason, but a heavy reason as to why this was planned the way it was, because he was in charge of this event. He was in charge of the ticket sales, the promotion, booking that venue, like making sure everything ran smoothly, and it did not. And in a turn of events, he is spared entirely, even though the record label wants to throw him under the bus for the incident that took place. Andre stands up for him and is like, nah, like, we'll give out the apologies, we'll just say that it was like mismanaged or whatever, but I'm not getting rid of Puffy.
Puffy ends up leaving anyway,
but that's later, and that's because he has ambitions to do his own thing. He wanted to do something with Heavy D and the Boys, and Andre wouldn't let him. So he was like, forget it. I'll just do my own thing. And that's when he tried to start doing Bad Boy.
So episode 2, that's when we get What Goes Down Must Come Up. Sure. And that's when he starts establishing the Bad Boy Records. He pretty much goes shopping to different record labels. He ends up at Arista with Clyde Davis. And the way that they structure to get his own record label is he puts everything in his mom's names, so he doesn't have to pay the people
that were victims of that venue situation.
Of the venue situation, people got crushed at the basketball game.
Yeah, that's how he gets around it. So he can report that he's not making a certain amount of money, and therefore won't have to pay up those dividends by keeping it in other people's names. Which a lot of people do, shockingly. So he creates Bad Boy. He's going to these indie labels looking for their artists that he could snap up.
But first, we forgot something. So before he leaves
Uptown,
he already has Biggie. Biggie is actually an Uptown artist. But Harrell.
Why do you keep trying? Andre, just say his first name.
I keep forgetting his first name.
Oh my goodness.
Andre decides to give Puffy like a going away present, but she gave him.
Biggie wasn't with Uptown Records. He was scouting. He was supposed to be scouted for them.
He was,
and then Diddy decided no.
They said Biggie was part of
He
Uptown
was supposed to be a part of
because he
Uptown.
already made an album that was supposed to be put out on Uptown.
No, he made an album and it was supposed to be put out on Uptown because they were recruiting him. He worked with their indie label. Uptown had an indie label.
Oh, okay.
He was working with them, and Diddy was overseeing that already. And then he swooped in to cake him.
So Harrell's like, you can take Biggie with you.
Andre
was like, you can take Biggie with you. And Puffy and Biggie left and established Bad Boy with another guy named something.
Juicy.
Huh?
Oh, you're talking about the other founder?
Yeah.
Kirk.
He pretty much had 25% of
25% or 25 cents?
25% of Bad Boy.
He gets that later. Technically, he should get 50%. Anyway, and to who?
And he ends up managing the books in the day-to-day.
Yes.
For Bad Boy in the earlier stages.
But he also like plans the stuff. Like he basically was like an assistant.
Yes.
Helping do all the other stuff, all this other stuff you got to connect the dots
helping Puffy keep money from the artist and keep it to only Bad Boy and Bad Boy itself.
Well, yeah, so we see the beginnings of the bad deals that Puffy gives his artists. Like it's an open and known thing that if you sign with Bad Boy, you are not going to get paid. He's got Biggie, which is a huge artist, and he becomes even huger. I did not realize that when they were working on music for Biggie, they were stealing stuff from Tupac. So that was hilarious.
Just the lifestyle. What?
No, also the beats. Remember he had to listen to that song like over and over again so he could figure out how to rewrite it for Biggie.
Oh, get that sound, recreate that sound, or the feel in that sound.
Mm-hmm.
All they were doing really is
copying aesthetics.
Yeah, and just using
everybody
70s grooves and beats and pretty much putting hip hop lyrics on top.
But no, but that was like actual DJs that were doing that. Diddy does not know how to do any of that.
DJ did that. He heard that and he said, we need to figure out that formula. And that's pretty much how you got Ready to Die.
Right.
If you go back and listen to Ready to Die, it's Juicy.
I'm talking Juicy the artist.
Who's Juicy the artist?
The other guy that was on his label.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
The dude they ignored. Remember, he ended up not getting paid, and then he was trying to borrow money. His girl was doing all the interviewing.
You're talking about Craig Mack.
Yeah.
Yes, Craig Mack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose song sounds exactly like
Flavor. Yeah, it's Flavor in Your Ear.
Yeah.
That was one of their biggest hits at the time.
The only hit upon, unfortunately, for this poor man. So, but it's the beginning of Diddy trying to being keenly aware of what they need to sound like and what they need to look like in order to be successful, and figuring out how to getting people to figure out how to do that.
Yes.
And move them forward.
Yes.
And it works. It works. He also starts showing up in a lot of videos. So
that's another way to pay himself.
We find out. Like, if he's going to dance in the video, you had to pay him. If he was going to say anything in the video, you also had to pay him.
If you're going to use his studio, you got to pay him the studio time.
Exactly. If he cameos, you got to pay him. So, yes. which I'm feeling he learned in Uptown. So anyway.
Andre wasn't in a lot of videos.
Andre wasn't, but I think he learned that like he could bill for these different aspects.
Oh,
and was like, okay, well, I'm going to apply it like this.
Because he was the one doing all the stuff.
Yeah, he was the one planning all of that.
Yeah, I got what you're saying, yeah.
So, episode 2 is all about how he may or may not have had something to do with the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, how the rise of Suge and his rivalry kind of goes too far.
They're saying is how he might have had something to do with not just the rivalry, but the deaths of Biggie and Tupac.
Uh-huh. Well, also like what he had to gain if they did die.
Yeah. Which killing Biggie made no sense.
No, I'm not saying it made perfect sense, but they put some stuff out there, like how Biggie was in talks to leave. How there might have been some jealousy around Biggie being friendly with Tupac and Diddy feeling like, nah, that shouldn't be going that way. Because he felt like he was losing his control over his artist. It's all alleged. Nothing confirmed again.
And apparently the beef he had with Tupac was because Tupac wouldn't do business with him.
Right. And he wanted to be the best thing out there. They also show how, like, during this time period, he was going after girls that already were in relationships with other guys
Also,
for some
they
reason.
started to show that as well. Eric Sermon, if you know Eric Sermon, he's one half of EMPD, and he's a producer as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how he was friends with this girl, Nessa, and Puffy was trying to get her. Finally, he got her, and
he was dating her. They weren't friends.
Oh,
that was his girlfriend.
Okay, well, Puffy ended up taking her, and they were still good friends. So she was sitting in this car one time. He comes tapping on the window, and
Not tapping. He was knocking hard.
Knocking on the window. Eric is like, "What's going on?" And Eric says, Puffy takes a swing at him. And Eric said at the time, to be a gentleman, he was like, "You know what? I'm going to whip your ass around the corner. Let's go around the corner." Mm-hmm. And he said as soon as he get around the corner.
He said he started laughing when he swung on him.
And he said once he get around the corner, Puffy goes, "Why don't you listen to the new Biggie album?"
He changed it. Because Puffy can't fight. So the thing is, he acted like he came from that hard lifestyle. That's why that dude started laughing when Puffy did swing on him, because he blocked it easily. And he was like, "I don't want to beat your ass in front of your girl, so I'm going to take you around the corner."
I think that was also kind of calculated.
Diddy's? On Diddy's end? I doubt it.
Yeah.
I think he changed it because then he was like, "Oh, shit, I got to really fight." Well, then listen to the song real quick. Because he didn't need him to listen to the song.
And he said, sometimes you want another musical ear to listen to.
But he could have got anybody's musical ear, is what I'm saying. I think he changed tactics when that dude finally got out the car, because then he was like, "Oh, listen to the song. Go ahead, listen to the song."
Okay. I'm not saying you're not right. You could be 100% right.
Also, what was the end goal to have him listen to that song again?
To see how hot it was.
Mm-hmm. To get his opinion on how hot it was.
Yeah, and he said that was it. Biggie took off. And so they go through how Diddy got connections with the Crips on the West Coast from another guy on the East Coast that was running with. Was he running with Frank Lucas? Was part of that gangster lifestyle in New York. And that's how Diddy and Bad Boy had connections with the West Coast Crips. Mm-hmm. So they start linking that together. And if you know, right before Pac died, he got in a fight with this one guy who ended up being the nephew of one of the leader Crips out there in Cali. He got in a fight. I can't really remember the name of the guy, but it was at a Tyson fight. I want to say 96. Mm-hmm. In 96, the Tyson fight. And apparently some guy tried to steal a death row chain and get, I guess, they also, so let's start here. They pretty much, after the beef started, they said Puff was trying to do something to get back at Bad Boy and all the stuff, because if you know, Tupac was running through Bad Boy at that time, telling Biggie how he banged his wife and all this stuff, all this. So I guess Puffy set up to try to get a death row chain. So this guy got beat up, but they couldn't get the death row chain. Fast forward to the Tyson fight. The guy who beat up the guy to try to take the death row chain was at the fight. Tupac then ran across the casino, beat the guy up, and you know what happened after that. Tupac leaves, tries to go to somewhere else, and ends up getting shot on the Vegas Strip. So they pretty much tried to connect that it was Puffy who had
somebody come instigate
and had Tupac and Shook shot at. And the guy said he was supposed to get $1 million, but he was only going to get 500,000 because he only killed the one. The other one got away, but he never got the money.
That guy said the same thing every time too. Anyway.
Sure.
I think that's really it. It was mostly about the whole Biggie, Tupac, and then deaths.
the Kurt is the guy's name.
The co-founder.
The co-founder was like,
oh, he got offered 25% by Puffy at that time, around this craziness. He got offered that 25% because he needed his name for something, because he was trying to increase their prospectus for the business. That's why he was offering him 25%.
No, he was taking his 25%.
No, later he did take it, but first he offered it to him. That's what Kirk was saying. Like, he offered it to me, and then he rescinded it because then he needed to borrow it. Then he needed to borrow the 25%.
Sure.
Which he gives him. He says he came in and threatened him with like baseball bats and whatnot, and
97
forced him to sign over this 25%.
The Biggie death. Kirk talks about how Biggie didn't want to go to Cali because all the stuff that was going down, and how pretty much the death threats and everything.
Well, he had a baby on the way.
So pretty much Puff forced him to do a tour run for the album that ends up being Life After Death, and forced him to go to Cali. The day that Biggie died, Kurt was like, Biggie was supposed to be going to Europe, Great England, to do a press run there. But he never made the flight. He kept calling. He's like, Puffy don't want me to leave. And Puffy calls him, says, Biggie ain't leaving. We ain't doing it. And click. So Kurt said he felt had an uneasy feeling about that. A couple of hours later, after the Soul Train Music Awards, Biggie shot. Yeah. And that's the death of Biggie. And pretty much that's episode 2 about the West Coast, East Coast battles.
It's called What Goes Down Must Come Up.
So pretty much they were trying to kind of connect that he might have loosely or could have had something to do with Biggie and Pac's death.
Okay. Well, at the very least, they showed what he gained through all of this. And he gained quite a bit. Moving into episode 3, which is called Official Girl. This is when it focuses more on the women in his life, whether they want to be or not. They talk about how Diddy gets into a relationship with Kim. Kim is a model. She also worked for Uptown Records. She originally was with Albie Shore. And they've established that he's got a pattern. Puffy's got a pattern of taking other people's girls. And that's what he does with Kim.
Also, they talk about how they started seeing the signs of him being abusive with his first girl, Dawn. How he ran outside and started beating her up by a car or something.
Okay.
And they were like, yo. But no one did anything. No one said anything.
That wasn't his first girl.
That's the first girl they mentioned of seeing him physically assault.
They mentioned that other girl, the lady that was crying. She was in the early videos of his. She knew him from the block, and then he was putting her in the music videos.
Oh no, they had nothing with domestic abuse.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
She got raped.
But that's not the domestic abuse. The first time they seen him do domestic violence, like beat up a female
that he was seeing, you're saying?
That he seen.
Okay.
Was Dawn.
Okay.
That's when they first saw him, like, they was like, oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Because Dawn is later. Because Kirk later says that he's been doing that since 92. So, like, no, because they talk about Nessa. That guy that Ian, his face was messing
Nessa
with?
was the first girl they saw him. Oh, Dawn is from that.
She's from Danny Kane.
Danny. Oh, I'm sorry. Got my girls mixed up. You're right. What's her? Eric Sermon's ex-girlfriend was
Nessa.
the first. Nessa was the first girl they seen him actually physically assault.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
She was in a lot of videos, but he was also like beating her up.
So
they would see bruises on her.
Yeah. But they actually physically saw him beat her up one time. That's the first time they seen that.
Yeah.
For the sexual assault, you're right. It was a girl that was, what she said she ended up there by.
They grew up together. She knew him personally, and then she was in the videos.
She knew him, but he needed something. They were partying. And he's like, yo, we're going to continue this party at Harrell's house. The after party is going to be.
Why do you keep saying the last name?
Andre.
Because nobody refers to him as Harrell. Everybody says Andre in the show.
I'm so used to using last names. Andre, the after party's been at Andre's house. Mm-hmm. They all go to Andre's house. People are tracking mud through the house. She stays around and helps him clean up. That's how she ends up being with him alone, kind of, sort of. Mm-hmm. He goes, "You want to be in a music video?" She goes, "Sure." Mm-hmm. He takes her to, I guess, New Jersey with the group he was, managing at the time. Then she got to be in the video, and they shot the video where he played like some pimp or some Mac or some whatever.
Right.
And she left him. Fast forward, she gets a call from somebody saying that they saw her in the video with Puff, sleeping with Puff or something crazy. Mm-hmm. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And the person's like, "He played us a video of you and him sleeping together." Mm-hmm. That's when she finds out that
she doesn't recall it at all.
She doesn't recall it at all. That's when she find out she probably was drugged and he did something to her. Mm-hmm. Her mom wrote a letter to his mom, mm-hmm. and she read the letter on the episode. Mm-hmm. And then we go through all the other women who he
may have slipped some stuff to and then did things with. Non-consensually, which is official girl. So Diddy's got Kim. She is having their children. And then we're hearing from some of the girl groups he's managing. Danny Kane is one of them. And that he may or may not have had something going on or tried to have something going on with Aubrey O'Day. Aubrey O'Day is part of that group. She was in making the band. Dawn is also in that group. She also was a singer with Danny Kane. But it starts with Aubrey before it starts with Dawn. Aubrey doesn't want anything to do with it, but it's becoming increasingly clear that if she wants to continue with the band in any way, she has to do what he says. And for whatever reason, the rules she has to follow is different than the rest of the girls. If you watched Making of the Band, you saw it happen in the show. And I think it was because she was the only one saying no. Anything else ridiculous, outlandish that he was saying, the other girls were like, okay, we'll figure it out. But she would be like, how is that supposed to work? Like, she'd be the only one that questioned it and say no. And he made her life a hell. To the point where she leaves that group entirely. We find out later there might have been an incident where she had to go see him for something. And she doesn't remember how that evening goes at all. There's another lawsuit, a civil lawsuit that goes out against Diddy, and one of the testifiers for this particular lawsuit basically gives a statement to his character of how he's capable of basically making these girls do what he wants them to do, regardless of whether or not they want to. And the example is Aubrey, of how like she showed up at his house or a party or something, and things happened to her while she was passed out. She does not recall it, and she knows it's something that he's capable of, but it's not something that she wants to dive into. She feels like she blocked it from her memory for a reason. Then we hear that Dawn filed a civil lawsuit against him. This was around the time that he was already dealing with a lawsuit, the RICO charges, and everything else. And she alleges sexual assault as well, that he was making her do stuff, that she was basically like a, what's it called? Witness to a lot of actions that he was doing. Do you know what they're referring to?
No.
Do you remember Day 26?
Yeah.
One of the boys from Day 26 was talking about how, very similar to that Lil Rodney story, he was waking up in places that he had no idea how he got to, and he would be sore. And like, he's like, and like there was situations where like him and Don were told to drink certain things or to eat certain things, and then they don't remember what happened afterwards. And he had tried to go after Diddy in a different lawsuit, and he was going to have Dawn as one of his witnesses, and she backed out at the last minute. And it was a whole thing. So then she came out with her own civil lawsuit and apologized to him, and it was a whole thing. That's why you see him on the phone being like, this is who dropped the suit on me, it's Dawn, and he can't believe it. And that's why he calls that other girl. Because they're in that new group. I don't remember what that group was called. With the two short-haired girls.
You asking me? I don't remember.
We just watched
I don't remember.
We just watched it anyway.
I ain't got time for the 9,000 different name changes he had and the 900 different dumb groups he had. I don't.
It is interesting because they interviewed that girl. That girl is doing a lot of interviews where she's talking about Diddy, and she seems to have like a crisis of consciousness where she talks about how like she's incredibly loyal to Diddy. She's incredibly loyal and she's incredibly I don't want to say dedicated, but it's almost like she feels like she owes him something to him, even though he has not treated her well. And when she needed the help, he didn't give it to her. Anyway, but when the Don stuff is going down, he calls her and is like, hey, I might need you to make a statement about this or whatever. And then eventually she does make a statement and it's basically goes completely against everything that Don says. She's like, I was there. I don't remember seeing this. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, it's crazy. And
No, I think she's to her recollection, she don't remember. She doesn't know. She's basically saying,
no, I remember that statement.
Okay.
It came out in May.
Okay.
We actually covered it in our podcast when we were talking about his lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
The summation of it is she remembers the details of those events differently. That's how they phrase it. Like, she was there. She doesn't remember him doing whatever Don is saying. She remembers those events differently, which shades it and implies it that Don is making it up. That's how they left that. That's why she was crying in the interview about how like she wasn't sure what she needed to say because she didn't want people thinking that she was just some lackey for Diddy. But then that's followed by her basically playing like a voice note he sent her where she said that she would die for him. So she would climb into the casket next to him. It's wild. It's wild. And that leads us to Cassie.
Cassie.
You don't want to talk about the events of Cassie?
No, we can talk about it.
I feel like everybody should probably know the events. They don't say anything new about the events of Cassie.
Raymond Cassie started off. How old was she when she was dating Leslie? Ryan Leslie. She had to be like what, 19?
18.
18? These niggas are these sexual predators.
Leslie's about her same age though. He wasn't Diddy age.
He had to be.
She was like 17, 18. He was like 19, 20.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Anywho, she started off dating Ryan Leslie. And Ryan Leslie is a producer / singer.
Yeah, he's 47 now. He was born in 78. Yeah. There wasn't that much of an age difference between them.
So he's doing stuff and he brings along Cassie with him.
Yeah.
47, 39.
Yeah. Do the math. That's only 8 years.
So
she was like 17, 18. He would have been 25, 26?
Yes.
Yeah. How old do you think Diddy was when he met her?
Probably 35, 40. Probably 35.
Uh-huh. No, definitely older than 35. He was born in 69. She was born when? 86?
20?
More
10?
More or less. Not 10.
17. 17 or 18. Something like that. Okay, anywho, so that's when he meets Cassie through Ryan Leslie. And they're working on an album for her to be on one of his songs.
He didn't meet her through Ryan Leslie. He knew about her already.
The first time he met her she was with Ryan Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Leslie. Yeah. He brought her to the studio. He saw her. That's when he started plotting and pandering.
That's what they imply in the documentary.
Yeah.
But that's not what she said on the stand. And that's not what her mother has said either. And if you remember when Cassie first came out with You and Me, that's not the story they gave at all about how she met him. It's a completely different story.
Now she meet him.
Allegedly. Well, okay, so when the You and Me single came out, the story they spun was that he had been a longtime family friend. So he knew her since she was in high school. That was the story they gave at the time. Then it changed to he saw her in the studio one day and knew that she had amazing talent. And he had to sign her immediately.
He was in the studio with Ryan Leslie.
But the other component to that is like it wasn't said in the documentary, but in the civil case and in the early interviews for You and Me, her mom was a heavy component of her getting with Diddy.
She was in the studio with Ryan. Her and Ryan Leslie were dating. That's what they said. He saw her in the studio with Ryan Leslie doing music.
This is at Diddy's studio. He told them to come to that studio.
Yeah, and he brought Cassie.
But he already knew who Cassie was.
Okay. Anyway, he brought Cassie. He saw him with Ryan Leslie, and now he wants Cassie.
No, he already knew she was with Ryan Leslie. He was trying to get her at the studio.
Yeah, after he started him and Ryan.
That's why he was uncomfortable with Ryan being there.
Yeah, because him and Ryan started working. Ryan was doing beats for him. He got with Cassie. He saw Cassie, like, I want to get her on a song. He tried to get her a song. They were all working together. He tried to find a way to get her alone. So he started doing, I don't know how he set it up, but he set it up to Ryan Leslie stopped coming. And it was just Cassie by herself.
He promised her that deal, the 10 albums.
So then that pretty much got Ryan Leslie out the picture. And from there, everything goes down after that.
Downhill.
Everything goes downhill from there.
So if you followed the trial or any of the stuff that came out after that, the video seen around the world now that happened in that hotel later, he basically makes her his slave, essentially. She becomes his sex slave. And he's hiring gigolos to have sex with her for hours.
Constantly.
For hours on end.
He's squirting him down and her down with baby oil of the Johnson & Johnson type. Religiously.
And getting mad if she particularly is not doing very specific things he wants her to do.
Also, the baby oil is laced or cut, however you want to say it, with HBH? GHB.
It's a mood enhancer.
So there's a lot of that going on.
But it's alleged that it's cut with that GHB. Apparently, no, there hasn't been. I don't know why they don't just test one of the baby oils, but they haven't confirmed that it has other substances in it other than what Johnson & Johnson puts in that baby oil.
Because they want to sensationalize it. That's why.
I'm just saying, given the track record that the documentary presents, I don't know if it's sensationalized. So.
Okay, whatever, sure. To bring up the baby oil and then check it for nothing.
But they also talk about how Diddy doesn't go by his name. At first, he's got a shirt over his face, and he's going by Frank Black. And then he starts recording the sessions. And then he's getting jealous of the gigolo he hired to sleep with Cassie and beats Cassie for it. But it's also talking about how, like, Cassie, after going through these terrific ordeals, acts like nothing's happening. Which then leads us into episode 4.
They also let it bring up the fact that Puff really didn't drink or do drugs in the beginning when he was with Uptown Records. At some point, he broke his hand. Or no, did something, had to get stitches and stuff done on the low. And to deal with the pain, he got Percocets, and that's what pretty much started his drug.
Percocets, Molly Percocets.
His dabble into the drugs.
That's a hard way to dabble into these drugs. Anyway.
Well, if you're a person that don't do any drugs and never felt any type of high when it relates to chemicals.
I think the Percocets is part of that story of him getting into drugs. I don't think it was the catalyst. They present it as the catalyst, as why he might have started. But I'm also looking at who he's surrounded with and his eagerness to be the best of whatever he's in.
That doesn't mean he was doing drugs or drinking.
He definitely got into drugs and drinking.
Yeah, I think the Percocets gave him a high, and he was able to do things that he probably didn't know or feel a certain way.
I'm saying, I think he dibble and dabble. Because you know how some people feel like weed isn't a serious drug? I feel like he probably was already dibbling dabbling here because he was coming up in the late 80s, early 90s. Coke was huge.
I if they say he wasn't doing anything and he wasn't drinking,
they're talking about growing up with him. He wasn't doing any of that.
When he was Uptown, he wasn't doing any of that.
They didn't say when he was with Uptown. Yeah, they said when he was growing up, it was like that.
The dude said when earlier years when he was Uptown, Puff wasn't drinking, wasn't doing all that stuff.
I'm just saying he's a brilliant promoter and he knows how to network. Part of networking is making people comfortable. When you look at that white party and the freak offs and all the other stuff, he pays attention to small details. Did it mean that he's been taking drugs the entire time? No. But I do think he realized that if he taps into some of the stuff these people already like, it makes negotiations a lot easier. And I feel like it was a culmination
giving people
of all of that, plus him being on Percocets, that let him be like, I'm going to take the drugs.
Whatever. Giving people stuff don't mean nothing. There's a lot of drug dealers who sell drugs and don't do the drugs.
Why are you likening him to a drug dealer?
What I'm saying is he can go get the stuff or have somebody bring the stuff and have.
You're acting like he stayed clean. He did not. So I'm saying
I'm not saying he stayed clean. What I'm saying is I can see the Percocets being the gateway.
I don't think the Percocets were as a one-off.
Well, I think the Percocets were a gateway.
I don't think it was. Period. I think he probably was already doing some other stuff and then was like, oh.
Everybody's saying he didn't do that stuff. The dude said he took Percocets and that's pretty much
all they said was in the early days he really wasn't on it. That's all they said.
I believe the Percocets were probably the gateway. Okay. Because if you're not used to doing stuff, that could... Because I had to take Percocets for my back one time. I took one.
And it led you down a path of drugs?
No, I took one. I was
exactly. It didn't. It didn't lead you down a path of drugs.
What I do and what other people do are totally different.
But what I'm saying is, this is somebody who they said did not take the drugs.
Just like weed could not be a gateway to other drugs for you, but for somebody else, it just lead them down a dark path of doing a lot of stuff. You're about to share a story
of how Percocets made you really feel a way. It really changed your perception because of how strong they were.
Yeah, it changed my perception. I was like, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm good. That's all. I'm not saying I would have been addicted. I'm just saying I can understand
We're gonna agree to disagree.
People
I feel like
feeling away
between partying to gain these other connects and whatever else. I'm sure he was like. I feel like they would be like, just do a little bit. I feel like they would.
There are a lot of people who party with people and don't fall to the peer pressure of having to drink or do the drugs.
He wasn't one of them.
I think he wasn't earlier going. I think it could be maybe he tried it one time, like, okay, cool. And then I think the Percocets probably helped make him more vulnerable to doing it. Open him up more.
We're going to agree to disagree. So anyway, the point is, he does drugs now.
Yes.
He be drugged off his face now.
Yes. One guy was like, the Gigolo was like, I don't think I ever seen him not high.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it probably started in his Bad Boys. When he got with Bad Boy, after a certain amount of time, I think at Bad Boy, I think that's probably, he probably started really dabbling.
Which is not that far away from Uptown. Anyway, the point is, that leads us into episode 4.
The link again?
Yes, link again.
And this is where I start like, okay, narcissism is a disease.
I don't think it's just narcissism. I feel like there's a lot of things at play. So we start seeing Diddy really tripping off his power, essentially, in episode 4. There's conversations about with the upcoming trial at the time of them filming this. Diddy's trial was coming up with the RICO charges and everything else. All of a sudden, he's like in the city. He's in New York City. He's around Manhattan. He's around all these other boroughs, trying to show that he's like a man of the people. He's taking photos. He's saying what's up, how he came from this side of the town. And they're like, it's very convenient that now all of a sudden he needs this particular subset of the community to really back him when he's never done that before.
Yeah.
Care to expand? Care to say more?
That's what happens when
somebody gets in trouble and now they gotta outsource.
Yeah. Now they want the black community to rally around them because they know there are people going to stand by them, especially if it's if it's perceived a certain way, that they're coming for you.
What so far from the show, from what they've established in the show, he is very good at perception. He's very, very good at manipulating people to get the perception he wants for whatever it is he's trying to get it for. And in this case, it's for him. It's to get the perception to be he's the victim. He's not the villain.
It's to get sympathy. Yeah.
And it works. It ultimately works. Especially if you think about how he was doing this before even a trial date was set, knowing that they were going to have to pull people from this area for the trial.
First off, you know what? That's an amazing point. Now that I thought about it and doing what you're saying, that is an amazing point.
They get one of the jurors to also be interviewed in here. She was blowing my mind with what she was saying. She was blowing my mind. We'll get to her. But yeah, it was just very convenient that all of a sudden he was like posing, taking pictures. This is somebody who, if you followed the gossip bags, he used to like be a jerk to people who wanted to take pictures with him. He'd be like, it's going to cost you like millions of dollars. My time's very valuable. Then all of a sudden he had like all the time in the world to do this. It was crazy.
Well, yeah. First of all, Bad Boy was pretty much done.
Yeah.
I think the Sean John collection was done.
Okay.
Ciroc.
Well, okay, so that's also in episode 4. They show how like he expanded his business. So it wasn't just the music now. It's his fashion label. It's his liquor brand.
Yeah, liquor brand. So yeah. Damn, that was a good point you just made.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about him like
I'm smart sometimes. Sometimes I'm smart.
He was in Manhattan.
Sometimes I'm smart.
And the trial was where?
Yep, Manhattan. Sometimes I'm smart. So.
Damn. You just blew my goddamn mind. Now, honestly, you just changed my whole perception. Literally. This nigga, I'm sorry, I said the N-word. So he is very calculated.
He's very smart. He's very smart, especially when it comes to perception. He knows how to package it. And so I'm thinking about like why was he videotaping himself? That was all part of it. If you watch the documentary, pretty much somehow they got a hold of the documentary. He probably was going to release himself on this whole thing. Yes.
That's why I was like, either he gave this to 50 to do it, to make it even get, because if you really want to make it really pop and really sell, the best person to give it to you is the person that's supposed to hate you the most. So you and him can make a killing and laugh about it.
Well, now I'm wondering if he did this to set 50 up. Not necessarily to work with him.
Who knows?
To work against him.
It would be genius. Because now I can sue you for all the money in the world.
I don't even know if that's necessarily...
Or it's to put me back in the limelight to get where I need to go.
That part.
Because if you watch this documentary, you learn and notice that he uses tragedy to really brand himself and make himself bigger than what he really is.
Yes.
There also was a bunch of another episode incident where in the nightclub where the shooting.
Yeah.
With him and Shine.
Yeah.
There's also another incident was J-Lo in that one with Shine?
That was it. They were going to the club.
So So he's very, very, very calculated.
Well, he's good at perception. He's good at people, and he's good at getting them to view things in the way he wants them to view things. Is what we're discovering as we're watching the rest
now
of this.
Think about it. I think that juror was persuaded a little.
It's what they said. They were starstruck.
A little. I think she was really.
We'll get to that, juror.
In her mind, he was a star she can touch. Because he was walking throughout the city, trying to be a man of the people. He was touchable.
He definitely was trying to portray himself as like, you guys know me. I couldn't do this stuff. You know me.
Exactly.
I'm from here.
Exactly.
We'll get to that. Before all of that is happening, they're showing us how Diddy's ego is growing. because he's getting more and more successful with everything he does.
Growing.
Calvin, he likened himself to Jesus. He said nobody can compare me to anybody. To me, I think
it was already there. They're just showing how far out there he was with his narcissism.
But he also was very successful. Like his influence and power, it was very high. They're showing how the parties are kicking off. They're showing his interviews with Ellen, like how Ellen was the best, was the bestie. All of that stuff, like who he rubbing elbows with, how he's been moving. Mind you, he has not put out an album in a while.
Because if you want to make millions, you stay with hip hop and rap and R&B. If you want to make billions, you got to cross over to pop. You have to. And that's what he was trying to do. And he ended up successfully doing it. Pulling it off.
He also gets a new producer, just like around 2018, 2019 timeframe. This producer is Lil Rod.
If you don't know, the early Bad Boys, he had a producing group, a group of producers he used to call a Hitman, which had, I think it was No ID was part of that Hitman squad.
I didn't know Kanye was one of his producers at one point.
Kanye wasn't one of his producers. He produced some stuff for him. He wasn't one. Kanye was with Rockefeller.
Oh, okay.
He was with Jay-Z. He's one of Jay-Z hit makers, producers. Stevie J was another producer and songwriter.
Stevie? Like Stevie? Jocelyn Stevie?
Yeah. Yes. He was part of the hit makers. You didn't know that?
No. I thought this man was overblown. I did not understand why anybody wanted to talk to him.
No. He probably wrote some of those R&B hits.
Love and Hip Hop Stevie J.
Yes. He was part of the hit makers with Diddy. Look him up. Stevie J was part of Bad Boy.
You're telling me Stevie J actually has talent somewhere?
Yes. He's either a great songwriter and producer.
Stevie.
For that era, yeah. For that Bad Boy era.
Who was calling Jocelyn the Puerto Rican Rihanna. That guy.
Yes. If Jocelyn would have kept her mouth shut and stopped beating people up, he might have could have got her somewhere. Yes.
I don't believe you.
Look it up.
I don't believe you. I refuse. Look
it up. I don't know.
Stevie J.
I don't know who else was part of that hit squad or whatever, but I think those two guys were part of the hit squad.
I refuse.
If I'm not mistaken. Because I seen No ID talk about it on I forgot what podcast it was. But he talks about it.
This is like when I found out that there's a producer on Love and Hip Hop New York that I thought did nothing, and he actually produced a song for Tatiana Lee.
Who are you talking about?
I can't remember this man's name. He's an older guy. He's been a producer for a minute, from like the 90s into the early 2000s.
Are you talking about Pete Pistol?
Yeah, that guy.
He's not a producer. He's a rapper.
No, but he's also a producer.
Okay, but
he produced a song for Tatiana.
He was a rapper. What happened was Tatiana Ali took their big hit and kind of remixed it to an R&B song.
Think of You?
Yeah, that was his song.
What?
That was his hip hop song.
Are you serious?
Yeah. If it wasn't for the Bronx, this rap shit wouldn't be going to Uptown Baby, we gets down, baby. But yeah, that's his song. Him and another Peter Guns. That's him and another guy.
Peter Guns.
Yeah, that's him and another guy's hip hop song they made for hip hop. They took the Steely Dance, the beat. Yeah, that's his song.
Okay. So
all they did was pick.
In Love and Hip Hop, he is labeled as a producer, and then they show all the people he's worked with, and he's produced a sizable amount of hits.
Oh, maybe okay.
So I didn't know he rapped at all.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I mean, I know he raps on her song, which I didn't know was a remake. But they have him as a producer.
It's pretty much a remake of his song. I didn't know he was a producer. That's news to me. I thought he was a rapper.
My mind is blown right now. Between Stevie J actually having talent and Peter Guns was a rapper first?
Yeah, Peter Guns was a rapper. He was with, I don't know, Young Guns? I think, no. I don't know the name of his hip hop, his rap group. But him and another dude. This
is making me mad.
They had one hit. It was that Steely Dan song.
This is making me mad. Because this is making me agree with your, when we were talking earlier when you were making breakfast, and you said we don't have to be the ones that take each other down. Now I'm very mad. Now I'm very upset. Because both these fools are on Love and Hip Hop, and Love and Hip Hop is garbage. It's garbage. Yeah. It's all it does is portray us in a terrible light. And you tell me they have talent?
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's beside the point. Back to Diddy.
Yeah. Stevie J is part of the when he said I'm trying to make the new hit makers, he was talking about Stevie J, them, and No ID.
I cannot believe that these two idiots have talent.
Yeah.
That Peter Guns and Stevie J actually had strong careers.
If you no, I wouldn't say Peter Guns had a strong career as a rap artist. I wouldn't say that because I only know the one hit.
But he still had one. He still had a hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had a hit.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that song was huge. And Tatiana Ali took that song.
That's crazy. No, he produced it. He produced that song for her.
Well, yeah, but it was pretty much his song, and he just put her on singing. He just turned it into an R&B song. That's all he did, and then they just spit their little verse on it.
My mind is blown.
Him and the dude he was in the group with, the hip hop group with.
My mind is blown right now.
Yeah.
My mind is blown right now. Anyway, back
to. I'm shocked that you didn't know that.
No, I had no idea. I had no idea that Stevie J actually has talent. I'm upset. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make the new hit makers. He gets a new artist. He was trying to. They were trying to steal up somebody else's song and redo it for themselves.
They were trying to. So they had a Justin.
Michael Jackson.
There was a Justin Bieber song. He wanted to sound like "Can't Help It."
Yes.
That guy broke the code and figured it out. Did it sound something similar to "Can't Help It"? I guess.
I think it sounded inspired by because he wanted the same cadence, like the same speed and everything else that was in it. That's what he wanted, and that's what he got. And it worked because that was a hit for Justin Bieber.
Because he said the same thing to Pharrell. Pharrell, we got the New Jack City Swing song. It was some song that him and Pharrell was working on.
Pharrell?
Yeah, and he was like, it's online. You can see it. It's like when producers hear some beats that they like or they think that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Pharrell have a session with it together. He's like, Pharrell, you just cracked the code on the New Jack Swing, whatever. Yeah, you got to watch the video.
I'm so confused. Was this in the 90s?
No, this is 2000s.
And he said New Jack Swing?
He said this is the new Jack Swing. You just cracked the code of the new version of Uptown New Jack Swing. That's what he was saying.
My eyeballs are gonna pop out of my face. Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta watch the video. Some people that probably know what I'm talking about, but I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. You should look at his history. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
So my YouTube algorithm is all jacked up. YouTube don't know who I am.
It's like an open foot being sawed, and then randomly a lawnmower is just cutting grass, or it's a dude cleaning rugs.
Yeah, or some dude cleaning.
And then randomly a 70s music video, and then
then gospel music.
It's so random. It's so random. And then a think piece on what's happening right now politically. It's crazy.
And then nothing but comedy. And then
a one piece wrap up. Like it don't make no sense.
Gamers watching people play video games. So it's
all over the place.
And then probably Legos. Who knows? It's just a mosh.
Probably Legos.
Oh, and me trying to get searched for certain applications or whatever.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, it's all over the place.
Did you give me Legos for Christmas?
Gaming. Of course not.
Okay.
I'm trying to stop that habit.
Stop it.
Yes.
I'll go to Angela. Anyway.
Curse that person who
started this. She didn't start it. We just happened to both be doing it. Anyway. Diddy's ego is out of control. He has a new producer. And he's like, you guys need to work on this album for me. We can video footage of him. Again, it's right before he is arrested. He's got this guy named Lil Rodney with him. And he's like, if I'm not hot, y'all not hot. And he is rapping terribly. He's rapping terribly to a decent beat. And he's getting frustrated because it sounds dumb. Because it sounds terrible. He's like, I don't want to sound lukewarm and everybody else sounds hot. What's that look like?
No, if I'm lukewarm, y'all are lukewarm. If y'all trying to get on, I got to be hot. So y'all can be hot.
So terrible.
So you blaming me because you don't have any talent rapping. Great. It's my fault.
And then had the nerve to be like, I've lost my tone. I'm trying to get back to my tone. You never could rap. You never could rap. It's so crazy. Oh, they show the guy who wrote You Can Hate Me Now. Yeah. And his flow is decent. I think you were cooking. He had a decent flow.
Who wrote it?
The guy with the glasses who like starts crying, talking about how
Mark
Diddy's gonna get
Curry?
his. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Him.
Okay.
He has a decent flow. And he talks about but he also talks about, like, how he put different cadences in different places for part of that song, and Puffy got rid of all of it because he can't do that. It's all if you've ever listened to Puffy rap, it's one tone. There's no there's no changes. He's literally reading it off the paper.
That's pretty much how all of them did it. Eazy-E did the same thing. Dr. Dre does the same thing.
I don't know what point you're making.
A lot of them don't write their own lyrics.
No, I didn't say writing. I'm saying rap.
Yeah.
I'll give Dr. Dre this. He at least can rap.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I guess.
Is he the strongest rapper? No. But can he rap? Yes.
Yeah.
He can rap better than Diddy. Eazy-E for sure can rap better than Diddy.
It's only as strong as the person who's writing the lyrics for you.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Please stop what?
Are
you saying
you think Diddy needs a stronger writer? That's why he's terrible?
Are you saying if the writing's good? So when you say, what are you saying?
I'm saying
the way they sound?
I said cadence. I didn't say anything about the writing. I said Diddy can't change cadence. He doesn't know how to play with the words that he's saying. He doesn't know how to put his own spin on it. It sounds like he's literally reading off of a paper.
Oh, okay.
Like how we have inflection in our tones when we're talking. All of that goes away when he raps for some reason. It's all like this.
Because I think he's concentrating.
He's thinking too hard about the words that are about to come out.
Yes. And he's trying to stay on beat. That's kind of hard. If you don't naturally know how to do it.
It's terrible.
If you got to, because it's not coming from him. He has to read the words.
And I feel like if you Can Hate Me Now is the best example of that, because a lot of the words have a lot of emotion behind them. It's all about how, like, I'm going to keep thriving, even though you keep trying to pin me into one place. But if you listen to it, you would have no idea that that's what this is supposed to be about. And we should have picked up on the Jesus thing earlier because he put himself on the cross with sunglasses.
Well, yeah, but a lot of rappers do that.
I feel like it's more artistic. Like you said, Pac did it too. But I feel like in Pac's case, Pac's an artist. So it lent itself to the words he was saying and the overall messaging that was already in the lyrics. That's not what's happening, and You Can Hate Me Now at all. At all.
I think the issue is with him. The people who are writing for him.
First of all, they weren't writing for him. They were writing for themselves. Well, and then he took those songs.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's the issue. That's the issue. That's why. That's the issue. For like when people write for Dre, they write for Dre they write from a perspective of Dre. So when Dre raps a lyric, it sounds like he wrote them. Mm-hmm. And granted,
because he can embody them better that way.
Yes,
but he doesn't know how to do that.
But I don't recall Dre stealing people's songs and just stealing their lyrics and song.
I don't even think that was his focus, because he can make the beats, which is his strength.
So if he did a song for him, they wrote it for him to rap the song. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going off a tangent again. But yeah, Hate Me Now.
I forgot about it entirely.
No, I didn't forget
until they brought it up in the documentary.
I didn't forget about the song.
I did.
I don't listen to the song that much. I don't listen to the song at all. If that's a skippable song for me.
I don't listen to any of his songs.
I think Nas is on that song, right?
Yeah, Nas is on it.
I don't even listen to Nas' verse, and I know he said something crazy.
And Mace.
Yeah, I don't even listen to that song at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because it is Diddy. I didn't listen to the song at all. It's terrible. No, the beat is nice.
Of course the beat is nice.
But yeah. Anywho, yeah, what you were saying, yeah.
The point is, Diddy thinks he's hotter than he is. He was trying to make it a comeback as a rapper for some reason, right before he gets.
Because at that point, Bad Boy was pretty much falling off a cliff. It was pretty much done. Around that time, Bad Boy's going down.
At the time of him doing this, though, it was the revival, because that's when I think either he or Bad Boy got an award for the American Music Awards, and they did like that little reunion, and Kim popped out of the
Yeah,
ground.
but it was still Bad Boy still pretty much done because Mace had pretty much left. I think.
Yeah,
Finally
it's
left.
done, but I think he was trying to do a revival.
Oh yeah, it wasn't gonna work.
I agree.
It wasn't.
I agree.
The times are different.
I agree.
And Biggie was Bad Boy.
Yes.
When Biggie left, it was Biggie. I said Biggie and Little Kim were Bad Boy.
Yeah.
And the producers, whoever he had back there, were Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Once Biggie died,
Mary J. Blige.
Mary wasn't Bad Boy. Mary was Uptown.
No, she joined Bad Boy.
When?
That's why they showed her early in her career. She joins him.
That was Uptown.
No, after Uptown. After she does her first one, she joins Bad Boy.
I had no idea.
He produced 3 albums for her under Bad Boy.
I had no. You know what? You might be right, because if you look at the back of those albums, those
it's the
CDs,
baby.
It's the baby. Yeah. I apologize. I didn't even know. See? Just like on that's related, but something like Anthony Hamilton is part of So Def.
Okay. And I wouldn't have known that at all.
Wouldn't have known that at all.
Right.
So I didn't know I thought she went to like Jive or somewhere else.
Eventually, yeah. She doesn't stay with Bad Boy, but yeah.
Okay. I remember Faith.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's probably why Faith kept getting kind of pushed back and shelved.
You know she beat Stevie J.
Huh?
You know she beat up Stevie J. Okay. And he filed a domestic violence suit against her.
Okay.
How strong is she? Anyway, so...
Well, when you begin to beat your life, you start to tend to beat people up back.
You learn some tactics?
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm pretty sure.
Yo.
So. But Faith is... There's a story about Faith going to a hotel and Biggie had some girl in there and she just whooped some girl ass.
Yeah, apparently she ain't scared to fight. So...
You know what's funny?
Don't let the light skin fool you. She will beat you down.
Like all the light skinned people are the angry people now.
Just all this rage.
All this rage, light skin rage now.
Anyway.
All these light skinned people with dark skin attitudes and feelings.
Not dark skin attitudes and feelings. Anyway, the point is, he thinks he's on a precipice of another come up musically, and his ego is out of control. And Lil Rodney is a producer that's up and coming, and he starts working with Diddy. He broke the code for Justin Bieber's song, and he's starting to see some, what is it called? He's getting money. He's starting to get paid in this career that he really wants. He's also having to do some weird stuff. He's told to recruit for Diddy and his son Justin. He's got to go to the strip, find these hot girls, and bring them back, so that it's just Diddy and his son with a bunch of girls, like a freak off party, which is crazy.
So we all know Diddy has these ridiculous parties.
Baby oil and Astroglide.
It's a comedian that he was on the Jamie Foxx show.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. I just watched
the uncle.
No,
I
just watched
The uncle's a comedian too.
Yeah, I just watched the show. I just watched his interview. He was telling an interview about a Diddy party he went to. He's like, all I had to know, I was going to this Diddy party. My recollection was like, just be out there by 1:15.
Be out of there by 1:15.
Just be out of the party by 1:15. He goes on the party. Eddie Murphy's there and the City Hall's there. They're talking, having a good old time. He's like, hey, Alex. His first name is Alex. Can't remember his last name.
Okay.
He's like, Alex, you want to meet Michael Jackson? He's like, hell yeah, sure, I want to meet Michael Jackson. He said, he's right there. He said he looks to his right, and there's Michael Jackson on a swing with Tom Cruise. And he said, Michael Jackson is whiter than Tom Cruise. Mm-hmm. He said, that's how white Michael Jackson was at the time. Mm-hmm. That Tom Cruise was darker than him. Mm-hmm. He says, he's like, Michael won't know me. He's like, Michael know you can see all he wants to do is laugh. So all he does is watch comedies and comedy shows and comedy and stand-up movies and shows and all that stuff. So Michael gets off the swing, I guess, come to him and be like, you're funny. And Michael just start laughing. And he's like, I know you're funny. And he says he starts crying because Michael knows him. He said Michael pulls him in and he just embrace. He said he's crying in his ear. He's like, I love you, Michael. And he's just crying, right?
Okay.
And like Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy and I guess Tom Cruise are just laughing.
Okay.
He says after they embrace, they back up. He said for some reason he don't know why he touched his nose. And
Alex touched Michael's nose?
Yeah. And then now he says Eddie Murphy and Arsenio is on the floor dying.
Oh, and no.
He said Arsenio gets up. He's like, dude, I've never seen anyone touch Michael's face. Michael doesn't allow anybody to touch his face. He's like, on the real though, you need to get the fuck up out of here.
Before he beats your ass?
Yeah, you need to get the fuck up out of here. He said he knew it was time for him to leave. He's like, he looked at his watch and it was 1:15.
Well, time to go.
Yeah, it was time to leave. He looked at his watch, it was 1:15. Mm-hmm. He said, Arsenio like, dude, no one's done that. You need to get the fuck up out of here. Mm-hmm. Because Michael's about to beat your ass.
Right.
He's like,
we've learned Michael can fight apparently, so.
Yeah, so back to Diddy. But yeah.
It was at a Diddy party.
Yeah, but it was a Diddy party.
But the point is everybody goes to Diddy parties. Like, that's the other thing that we see is like, this is already a person who's very good at peopling. He's very good at promoting and talking to people, networking. And then literally he's creating events where he can do that, where they've let a layer of their walls down.
But everybody,
and we're finding out he's lacing a lot of the stuff he's offering them at these parties as well.
Yeah, everybody knows. Like after a certain point, even when you go to certain parties or certain clubs or whatever, you know, okay, it's time to get the hell up out of here.
But I don't think people knew that he was putting stuff in drinks, turning the heat up so that it would react faster in certain people's bodies.
I know people be like, you got to notice when the fucking temperature get changed.
But think about it. If you're drinking, your body already starts to rise in temperature with just the alcohol anyway. So if you're doing that and you're doing the party drugs or whatever, you're really not paying attention.
Well,
and it's not like he went from one temperature and then drastically changed it to another.
That's the difference. You're doing the drugs and everything.
But the thing is, different scene. He's also dropping stuff in drinks. So you're also doing drugs that you don't know you're doing.
Yeah.
You're getting laced with stuff. Allegedly. So, because that's what's happening with Lil Rodney. So Lil Rodney, he's talking about how like he's getting a little uncomfortable with a lot of stuff they got to do. Especially like, I can't imagine setting up a freak off party for a man and his son. Anyway, point is, Lil Rodney starts waking up in places and he doesn't know how he got to these places. And he's waking up sore.
You know that, yeah.
And we opened this with Lil Rodney saying that like he had to watch a video with Diddy and it was a video of a white man being penetrated by somebody. A gay porn. So he's just like, it's getting real crazy at this point. Like it's getting wild. But at the same time, he's like, my career is starting to take off. So I'm just going to fake the funk. Meaning like he was just going to grit his teeth and try to bear it as much as possible so that he could continue with his career. But it hits ahead. He's not getting his money all of a sudden. So he created a beat that did well for an album, for one of Diddy's album when he was it Dr. Love? Do you remember when he was supposed to be like Love something?
I don't know, Buddy Love. Who knows?
For something like that. He was supposed to get paid. He did not get paid. So now he's like, now it's a problem. Like he's doing all the crazy stuff to me, but it was okay because I was getting paid. Now I'm not getting paid.
Apparently,
I gotta go.
He produced whatever album that was.
Yes.
Or helped produce. And Diddy was like, I'll pay you as soon as whatever. And he pretty much never got paid.
Right.
That's when I guess he woke up and like, I can't do this anymore. And he decides to, I guess, leave.
If you followed this dude, he dropped a civil lawsuit. This was all around the same time Diddy was dealing with the lawsuit for the trafficking. He has a lot of video footage of his time with Diddy. And one of the videos is him in the studio with Cuba Gooding Jr. And Cuba sits like super close to him and you can see him get a little uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden Cuba's like leaning around him very suggestively to like hold him or touch him. And you see him get up and leave. The merits of his lawsuit is that Diddy basically pimped him out, kind of tried to make him trick him out. Is that the saying?
Sure.
So he puts in his civil lawsuit. A lot of it got dismissed, but some of it is still in court. So he's dealing with that. And then that's when we hear more stories of other artists saying that like they really found themselves in a lot of situations where like they don't know how they got there. And they don't know what to do with that. And we ended on Diddy's core or actual trial with the RICO allegations. We get to meet two jurors. There's juror 75, and then I think it's juror 165, I think, or 175, 161. And they're giving their perspectives of the trial. Juror 75 is an Indian man, and his whole thing is, especially in regards to like the Cassie portion of it, is that it was two consenting adults. And that's kind of like where it starts and ends for him. Like, yeah, it might not have been a good situation and there might have been some abuse, but they were two parties that were okay with it. So he doesn't think that she really has anything to stand on.
Pretty much his thing is she kept going back.
Which is crazy. Which is why, I don't think trials should be made of your peers. I think they should be made of professionals. Anyway, so, because clearly some people don't understand how trauma works. Anyway. But the person who blows my mind is juror 161. It's this Black woman who talks about how familiar she is with Diddy and his work. She talks about how she grew up listening to the music and watching the shows, and she's very aware of him. She points out that she's not a fan of his per se, but she is a fan of what he's produced and what, the music. There's several instances in there where they're talking about how Diddy is looking at the jury. Juror 75 is like, nah, I never made eye contact with him. It was very plain in the rules for us that we couldn't make any eye contact. There wasn't supposed to be any interaction between us and the person on, that was on trial. Otherwise, you would get kicked out. But when we get to juror 161, she's talking about how like she was watching him and she was picking up on how he's reacting the same way he would react in Making of the Band. And she's doing a lot to showcase that like he was just being a human. And like it's very clear there's a bias there. It's very, very clear there's a bias in regards to how she feels about Puffy. And she all but says that like he was just a man who was doing what regular people do, essentially.
I don't know if it's that.
I think it's that.
But I do think she was.
The way she was quick to say that the Cassie video didn't affect anything because he wasn't on trial for domestic abuse. And then it's followed by how we can see his PR team is acting with the crowds outside, especially the bloggers and vloggers that were covering the case. You see that narrative change to all of a sudden, oh, he's not the monster. Cassie is. She's making a bigger deal of it than it should be.
I don't think she thought Cassie was a monster. I thought she thought what he did was heinous and wrong. She said that, but she was like, he's not on trial for domestic violence, though. Which is technically true.
This is why I hate juries. I hate juries. I hate juries.
Technically.
Because they cherry pick. They cherry pick what's relevant, what's not relevant.
What they do is there's a crime. Focus on trying to. I think they try to focus on making him look like a bad guy.
I'm talking about the jury. The jury themselves cherry pick what's relevant, what's not relevant.
But it's up to the prosecutor to make them believe.
Okay.
So, I think if the prosecutor was focusing on more trying to get him on those charges than trying to make him out to be a bad guy.
Is this distracting?
His image, yes.
But what charges? The RICO ones?
Yes. They should have focused on getting the charges and trying to get him for the time they wanted to get him for.
For the RICO charges.
Yeah.
The heavier charges.
Trying to paint him out to be this bad guy who could do this stuff instead of proving that he did do those stuff.
I did think it was interesting that the documentary loops back the statement that Andre made about how Puffy could be at the bottom of the barrel and he always figures out a way to get on top. And I don't think it's accidental having his PR team out there pushing the narrative that he wants and then it working, him being out there to be among the people all of a sudden and then oops, now he's on trial.
My thing is at the end of the day, if jurors, if they're holding the jurors accountable to doing what they do, they wouldn't know that or notice none of that or see none of that. It wouldn't matter if you do your job as a prosecutor. That's what I'm saying. Because it doesn't matter what me and you think on the blog system. It's also about what happens in that courtroom or what you can prove in that courtroom. If they prove it, it doesn't matter. Because guess what? He can be in jail for 50 years and people can still be like, I don't think he did it. He's innocent. They got an innocent man. It don't matter. You got him charged for 50 years.
Have you ever been a jury member on a trial?
No.
As somebody who was a jury member on a trial, they can point out all the facts they want. Prosecution can point out all the facts they want. If you've got somebody back on the jury who doesn't care about those facts, it doesn't matter.
But let me stop stuttering. I understand what you're saying.
So I was on a case where this little boy, it was a situation of potential child abuse. This little boy had the craziest bruising and markings all over his body. His stomach. It takes a lot to bruise your stomach, especially in the swatches that he had. We had statements from doctors. We had an eyewitness statement, previous history that they brought up that from him being on trial before for other domestic abuse situations that weren't necessarily attached to the kids. Like there's a pattern of behavior. There's a history. There's facts coming at us. None of that mattered.
Because one person was like, no.
Several people were like, no. Several.
So
facts did not matter.
So it goes to show that those people were probably abused and beaten like that.
Probably.
And we're told that.
But my point is,
that's normal.
There's like an idea that juries are trying to be as scientific and logical as possible, and they are not.
I'm not saying they are, but what I'm saying is up to the prosecutor.
What I'm saying is that prosecutor can point out all the facts they want. There's a reason that they say without a reasonable doubt. If you have any, they really stipulate that if there's any doubt in whatever it is that you're deciding on, then you can't choose that. You have to choose the one that you can all, without doubt, agree on.
And
which is dumb.
And what you just stated, that case, that's different. I think that's different.
The similarities that I'm pointing out is that you had a prosecution that was pointing out nothing but facts, but we had a group of people who were like, nah, we don't care about these facts.
And you're right. It all depends on the people. Then I would say the prosecutor did a horrible job of selecting jurors. Or did he have... the
prosecution by themselves don't get to select it. It's the defendant side and the prosecution.
Okay, so the prosecutor didn't do a good job of saying no to this person, yay to this person.
You don't get a lot of time to say no or yay, is the other part. You ask like a few filter questions, and then that's it.
They didn't get...
You really don't get to do a deep dive into these people.
But you're right. But at the same time, the prosecution has to do a better job. That's all I would say.
So, but statistically, a lot of lawyers choose or tell their their clients to choose a trial with a jury because it's much easier to sway a jury than a judge.
Yeah.
And that's because these people come in with their own biases or their own emotions about whatever's happening.
You try to select people that will benefit you.
Absolutely.
So, yes. That being said,
I could see why they chose that lady. I can see why they chose that lady.
And the prosecution should have been like, nah.
I wonder if there was a lot of people like that lady because you only get so many no's. Is the other part. So I'm wondering if they were like, we got to save these no's for the biggest ones.
No, they saw that lady and think she's gonna see a black woman being abused by him, and she's gonna convict him no matter what.
Surprise! No. So, whole depression.
That's what they did.
Even in my jury, what I thought was going to happen was like these black women, because it was a black mom dealing with all this. I thought the black women were going to be like, okay, they were going to be the stronghold.
No, they probably say, "Oh, this is another black woman trying to tell a black man from his
That's
child."
exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. We're looking at this. People are crying over the video footage, and they're just like, sometimes you have to, sometimes you have to punish your kids. What's happening right now? It was terrible. It was terrible. But that being said, I can see why they're like, we could do this with a jury, because if it's just the judge, it's not gonna go far. But if we do it with a jury,
And that's
yes,
and I guarantee you that prosecution in that case you was talking about probably thought the same thing. These women would see this and they'll be like, no, we can get him. Not really vetting the women or talking and asking questions. So I think they did that kid a disservice.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Because they're probably white people that were the
That's
or
right.
black. The
The-
prosecutor was white or black.
The prosecutor was white. The defense was black. But the people that were standing up for the kid, white. The people standing up for the black man, black women.
Exactly. So the prosecutor, the white prosecutor, probably thought, "Oh, we get these black women. They see this baby. Oh, we're in."
Yeah.
Not knowing that
Yeah.
there is a thing now where, and I don't know why black women protect black men the way they do.
I mean, I understand
have
it.
No idea.
Part of it is rooted in our history.
At some point, the hell with history.
I agree.
You gotta have to reciprocate some of this shit.
I agree. At some point. But okay. But yeah.
But yeah, so.
But that's what we ended on. We ended on his court case. They talk about Cassidy being there. They talk about his former PR assistant being there. That Capricorn.
And how she came on a stand. And I think because
it's how she presents herself.
How she presents herself, they thought she was lying or she made it up.
There I don't want to say an arrogance, but there's like a likability with Capricorn because of how she talks and is very matter of fact about a lot of stuff. It comes across as very, antagonistic. And then she's on the stand talking about all the evils that he's been doing. And I think it was like what you were saying was like she's trying to distance herself, but she was right there in the front seat for a lot of this.
Yes.
But now is acting like she too was a victim.
So she tells a story where Cassie called her or texted her saying, "I want to take Kid Cudi on a hiking thing with us." She said, "You know, if you do this, he's going to..."
She said, Diddy can cheat on you, but you can't cheat on him.
Yeah, she's like, whatever. So they go on the hike. The next morning, Diddy comes to her room with a gun, or her
Capricorn's apartment
with a gun, saying, "You're going to help me go get back Cassie."
Yeah.
They're pretty much kidnapping her and taking her to Kid Cudi's house and forcing her to go get Cassie out the house, I guess.
Yeah. But she's not there. Nobody's there. And so she's on the phone with Cassie, just being like, he's not going to let me go unless you come back, blah, blah, blah. But it's her calling it a kidnapping. And I guess for the jurors that were listening to this, even though they acknowledge that she was very emotional on the stand, they think that it's overblown. They don't think it was necessarily a kidnapping. Because one, she worked for him. Two, she kind of went willingly, even though he had a gun to her head. They're seeing it as her going willingly because of everything else that she has done for him. Because she was the original KK, like that lady they keep talking about, who's supposed to be helping him with whatever his image is.
Yeah,
she was the original KK.
And also, she said as soon as Cassie gets there or whatever, he starts just kicking her in the back and the side, not hitting her face because he knows that's the moneymaker,
right?
Or whatever. So yeah,
right. And she talks about her own trauma around it, and I could see how people perceive that as her doing the most. But honestly, I think it's just how she processes it. But also I think that speaks to how we have these juries that are just coming with their own experiences. They don't have any like grander scientific understanding for how people process with different things. And it drives me crazy. So
that's pretty much the Diddy documentary on Netflix.
I think we get caught up with how he basically all the charges get dismissed except for the the prostitution, like traveling, whatever thing. He's been sentenced to 50 months to include time he already served.
Which I told you was going to happen.
Right. But he only served, I want to say he only served like a year worth of time. So he's still got a nice little way to go. 50 months is a little over 2 years.
He's not going to do all that time.
Okay.
He'd probably be out and we wouldn't even know he's out.
Probably.
Well, I take that back. We'll know he's out. He's on the broadcast to do something stupid.
So I guess my question around all of this is the timing and why now? Like, so we know that 50 Cent is a troll. He's a bad troll. Why is it dropped now? Is my question. This could have been dropped closer to the trial to really have a big, I mean, it still got a big reaction, but like, why now? Why now?
I don't know. Like, my theory is he put it out there and to put it out there, and the person he wanted it to get to, finally it got to them.
Yeah.
And they took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay. And it worked itself out that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was shopping it around and he was like, no. He's like, no, it got to get to this person.
I'm waiting.
You got to sell it.
I'm waiting for the karma to hit. There's going to be a tell-all about 50 Cent. I'm just waiting for it to hit.
Because it's going to be similar to Diddy.
Yeah.
It might not have all the crazy stuff, but...
Well, 50 Cent was actually from the streets, so I think it might be a little more violent.
So, but yeah.
But it'll be interesting. But that was it. That was the doc. Is it worth watching? If you have any kind of investment in Diddy and the ridiculousness, or just want to see what the hype is about, it's not a bad watch. It's not super, super long. Do I feel like they had to really stretch some stuff out in order to make it work? Yeah.
I just like the fact that it's like it looks like his own documentary that he's doing.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When it first kicks off and you see crazy. Diddy, I'm like, "What? How did they get this footage?"
Yeah. So I'm like, this is what he would do after everything's over with.
Right.
The day he comes out, this is the day he will release this.
I also want to know what the long-standing effects of this is actually going to be. We have short memories. Yeah, we have short memories. Is this going to do anything long-standing?
No, it's not going.
I kind of hope there's justice for Kirk, justice for anybody else who got screwed over in the process of this ridiculous career of his, especially Kirk. I feel like Kirk really, really lost so much. He talks about being on the streets, homelessness, being blackballed from the industry entirely. That's also crazy.
Possibly being a man slave for Diddy.
Right? That's crazy. Especially for somebody who has so much information on him. It's crazy. So, we'll see. But it was worth the watch for us. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Any other shows you're watching?
I was watching another Netflix documentary called Missing Dead or Alive.
Okay. And what's that about?
It's pretty much Missing Dead or Alive. It's about this county in South Carolina called Richland County. It's pretty much Columbia.
Uh-huh.
And in this police department, it goes and tries to find missing people
from that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll talk about the two people they talked about.
Okay.
Next time.
Is it in the same vein of like the Murdoch murders?
No.
It's not true crime?
Yeah, it's true crime. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the same storytelling style. It's different.
It's from the perspective of the detective.
Oh.
One lead detective.
Is it like the other show, 24? First 24 or First 48?
First 48? Yeah, something like that.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah. But she's doing her own voiceovers and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you getting her process, like how she's going about it or whatever?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm watching Welcome to Derry. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be. It's pretty decent. And I'm caught up on Stranger Things Part 1. Really hate that they're stringing it out like they are. Those have been good watches so far. So, it's not bad.
You talk about them more next time.
That sounds good. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Bye. Thank you for listening to We Like That podcast.
So we like that.
Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You know you want to. And rate us 5 stars. I'm Javon.
I'm Calvin.
Later, people.
And we're out.